Good morning, I'm Steve Rosansky, President and CEO of the Newport Beach Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to welcome you to our October edition of Wake Up Newport. Unfortunately, Alberto Sandoval, who'd normally be welcoming you, texted me this morning. He got a little car trouble, so he's not going to make it. So I'll assume both roles today as MC and introducer of people here this morning with us. So we've got a great program for you. Unfortunately, Nicole Suidam with Goodwill Industries had to cancel at the last minute, but thanks to David over here, my right arm at the chamber, and getting speakers, he convinced Robert to speak this morning. So we're going to hear from him, and I'm sure it's going to be equally as good. Before we get going, there's a couple of dignitaries here. I'll quickly introduce my sister, Robin Grant, City Councilwoman, Newport Beach. I saw Pierre Swan with the Irvine Ranch Water District. He's a director over there. How are things there? Is the water flowing? Got a lot of water? I hear it's going to be rain a lot this winter, so fill up that reservoir up at Irvine Lake or wherever you store your water. I don't want to have to take 1 minute showers, right? Thank you, Pierre. Pierre does a great job. Okay, so Dorothy Larson with the Board of Library Trustees now, right? Yeah, you were with the foundation before, right? Now you're with the Board of I get confused about that. Welcome. And you're the chair as well. Chair? Vice chair. Thank you for coming. Fentanyl Solutions in the house, one of our Leadership Circle members. Good morning. I don't know if any of our other Leadership Circle members, Sean Levin with the City of Newport Beach. He's the head of the Parks and Recreation Department. Great, thank you, Sean. Okay, let's get going. So I'm going to introduce the speaker this morning, Robert Santana. They sent me a little bio here that I'm going to quickly read. Robert Santana is a native of Orange County, is a dynamic community leader with remarkable background in the United States Air Force, law enforcement, and child development. After serving for 4 years in the Air Force, he found his calling in impacting the lives of young people at the Boys and Girls Club of Santa Ana. From volunteer to director of operations and eventually CEO, Robert oversaw significant growth, expanding the club's reach and programs through a 5-city club merger into Costa Mesa, Irvine, Orange, and Newport Beach. I think he's going to talk about how he's expanded it even further as of a couple days ago. His dedication earned him recognition, including the Boys and Girls Club of America's Blue Spirit Award and Pacific Regional CEO of the Year. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, his leadership resulted in a strategic reopening plan, setting a precedent for Boys and Girls Clubs across the nation. Robert's commitment extends beyond his role as he actively contributes to community task forces and serves as a valuable resource to nonprofit groups. His leadership has transformed the Boys and Girls Clubs of Central Orange Coast into a premier organization in the Pacific region, driven by his unwavering commitment to integrity, service, and excellence. Robert holds an MBA in organizational leadership, a Bachelor of Science in Child and Adolescent Development, and various teaching certifications, underlining his unique blend of experience and passion. I welcome Robert Santana.
Good morning. How's everyone doing today? I first want to extend my appreciation to Steve and the Chamber for inviting me to join you this morning, this early morning. I've been asked to speak about mentorship, and as Steve just mentioned, we have a pretty exciting announcement that we just completed a couple weeks ago, so I'll share that kind of at the end. But, you know, there's one thing that ties us all together here today. We all have different backgrounds, different areas of expertise. We're in different industries. We were born in different places and in different living situations. But what I've learned about successful people is that we all have something in common. We have all benefited from the generosity of other people. I believe that the single most important factor to someone's success is whether or not they have mentors and champions in life. And I would assume that every single one of us has felt the impact of a mentor at some point or possibly at many points in your life. And you might even, as professionals today, have those types of relationships with mentors that challenge you and motivate you and inspire you, and most importantly, are there to lift you up when you need that support. That's the mission of our Boys and Girls Club. That's my personal mission as I've experienced my relationships, whether it was in the Air Force or as a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club or in my current role as CEO. It's to build connections with people and see potential. And I'm an optimist. I choose to be an optimist. Those that are very close to me know that about me, that I see someone or I see something and I see the opportunity for greatness. And the thing about working with young people is that it's very inspiring. And especially during times like this when there's so much chaos and there's so much unknown, when you spend time with young people, they reinvigorate you, they challenge you, they ask very curious questions. Raise your hand if you have little ones or have had little ones at some point in your life. Aren't they the best at asking really cool questions, right? See, I think, and so does our incredible team at the Boys and Girls Club, that kids have a superpower. And that superpower is curiosity. They ask the best questions. Sometimes not the type of questions that we want to answer at that exact moment, but they ask really curious questions. That's their superpower. And as they grow up, if we don't encourage and nurture that curiosity, they lose that part of themselves. And so as we look at the core values of our organization, we're very intentional about seeing potential, looking for potential. If you look for the good, you find the good. And there is good in every young person. But sometimes that good needs to be unlocked. And that's the work that we do at the Boys and Girls Club. We see these young people, we build these relationships, we motivate them, we inspire them, we challenge them. We really push them to think bigger, to ask questions, to be curious, to explore. And we see them kind of break out of their shell. And I've seen this time and time again in my 18 years serving the Boys and Girls Club here in Orange County, is these young people finding their voice, finding their passion. And if you can remember to your childhood, that first time that you shot a basket, or that first time that you kicked a goal, that first time that you got it, you're in that class and you finally understood how to do something. Or the first time that someone took the time and energy to ask you genuinely how you're feeling and if you need something. And the reality is we live in challenging times, and kids today face significantly more obstacles than we ever faced in our own childhood. The standards and the expectations that's placed on them is also higher than any generation before them. To be a second grade student today is different than what it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. And so as we look at this environment, the mission of the Boys and Girls Club is to ensure that every child, every young person has a mentor and a champion in life, someone that is an advocate, an ambassador to their success, someone that will build a relationship and inspire them. What does that look like in real time or in real life? Some of you may be familiar with what the Boys and Girls Club was, many years ago, right? Games and pool tables and rec type activities. It just isn't that anymore. Today, kids are building robots. They're building, different types of technology type programs, and we're introducing them to coding, and kids are really exploring that aspect of learning. For those of you that might be alum, that maybe attended the club, and you had a wood shop or something like that, this is the modern day wood shop. Our maker spaces today encourage kids to use 3D printers, to design, to build, to be creative. But it's much more than just the learning that happens. It's the character that's being built. It's the leadership skills. It's the resiliency that they're developing in the Boys and Girls Club. As we think about what makes a good human being, right? I think we would all, if we were just to write down all the different aspects of character that we look for in either a friend, a coworker, someone that you trust. You expect someone to be ethical. You expect someone to be humble. You expect someone to be empathetic. You expect someone to have good character, to be honest. These are the values that we instill in our young people today to make sure that we are developing the next generation of leaders. As Steve mentioned, we've grown a lot in the last 18 years since I've joined the club. I remember my first day as a volunteer. I walked in just having left law enforcement, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the DARE program, where police officers would go into schools. I was a DARE officer in my volunteer work, and it was in that moment, in that experience, that I realized that there was something that was calling me to focus the rest of my adult life on mentoring young people and helping unlock their potential. But I remember my first day, we had 130 kids in our club, about staff, I think it was about 12 or so staff members. Today, our staff is well over 100. We served over 9,000 young people in Orange County last year, and not just the number of kids, but in such a deep and meaningful way. We're building relationships, we're inspiring young people, we're challenging them. One of the things I'm most proud of that we've built at the Boys and Girls Club is our College Bound program, ensuring that every high school student has a relationship during those high school years, those most vulnerable years, to ensure that they have a plan for their future. And last year, we, for the 10th year in a row, have reported 100% graduation rate, and nearly 100% of these college-bound members are going to college. Usually it's about 98% are pursuing a college education, and about 1 or 2% every year will pursue a military career, but 100% of them will leave the Boys and Girls Club with some plan for their future. And the thing I'm most proud of as it relates to that program is that the Boys and Girls Club directly awarded over $200,000 in scholarships last year to make sure that students that could not afford college could benefit from our scholarship program, and in some cases, or in many cases, be the first in their family to attend college. For those students that qualify for financial aid, last year we secured $2.6 million in financial aid for their first year of college. As Steve mentioned, we've grown a lot. We've combined the cities of Santa Ana, Costa Mesa, Orange, Newport Beach, and Irvine. That's what makes up our Boys and Girls Club. And what that has done for us is obviously diversified the type of young people that we serve, all types of demographics and economic status. But what it comes down to is that it should not matter where you come from, how much money your parents make, what your background is, to determine whether or not you're successful in life. And what we've learned is that every young person, no matter zip code, needs a role model, a mentor, a champion in their life. Every family benefits from that, and especially today, with so many families either being dual working households or single family households, you rely on organizations like Boys and Girls Clubs and others to help you raise your kids and to make sure that you're sending your kids to a safe place. So I want to share some exciting news that we rolled out publicly yesterday, and next, I believe Tuesday, you may see an article in the Orange County Business Journal, thanks to my friend Peter Brennan from the Business Journal. For the last 6 months, we have been discussing or exploring a merger with a great nonprofit here in the Costa Mesa area called Youth Employment Services, otherwise known as YES. And for 53 years, YES has been a premier workforce development nonprofit, building relationships with 16 to 24-year-olds, helping them prepare for their first or their second job, building the confidence so that they can go into a job interview prepared, and even helping them connect to open job opportunities here in Orange County. And as of 3 weeks ago, we've completed a merger between YES and Boys and Girls Clubs. We will, as Boys and Girls Club, continue not only the delivery of service, but our vision is to expand significantly the service delivery and the footprint of YES services. What we've shared with the public is, and I'll simplify it today, there's two sides to addressing the workforce gap here in Orange County. There's the workforce, right? The young people that need the relationships, the coaching, the services, in order to be prepared for that job. And then there's the employers. And for all of you that are entrepreneurs or managers that are looking for talent, the number one complaint that I hear from employers is you cannot find talent, right? You have open positions, but either the candidates that you're seeing are not qualified or prepared. In some cases, we hear these horror stories from HR professionals about the types of interviews that are happening and just the weird stuff that happens. And so what we're doing is we're splitting and rebranding the YES organization into two major components. The first is workforce development. So YES workforce development will focus on the client-facing side. And this will involve an expansion of the services. So we're deepening the curriculum for the services we're offering to young people that are looking for employment, to include the 21st century job skills that have just become a lot more important than they were, ever before. Skills like emotional intelligence and conflict resolution, and how to be a great team player in the workplace. Beyond just getting the job, how to be successful in the job. And then for those that are in a job but are looking to move up in a position, it's helping them where they're at and providing them the skills that they may need in order to advance either in the company that they're at or advance into another position. The other side of it is a new strategy that we'll be introducing called YES Workforce Solutions, and this will be a employer-facing side. We will be partnering directly with the business community, especially those who are hiring or actively looking for talent, and we'll partner with our organization so that we can support your job fairs, actively connect you to leads for qualified candidates, and really build a relationship, especially for those employers that are constantly, actively looking for talent. And so the infrastructure that we're making is probably one of the biggest investments in the last several years as we aim to address the workforce gap in Orange County. And while there's many layers to addressing the workforce gap, these two investments are significant in connecting employers who are looking for qualified, motivated staff members and those candidates who simply need a support system to find the right type of employer that fits their needs. So we're excited to announce this merger. This by far is one of our biggest leaps into workforce development, and it complements our college-bound program very well. We are preparing young people for life. We're preparing young people for work. We're preparing young people to be leaders in our community, and that is the mission of our Boys and Girls Club. I'll share finally, before I open it up for any questions, the Boys and Girls Club obviously does a lot of things, and we've been around for over 80 years. And if I study successful organizations that have that deep of a history, the common denominator is that those organizations that have been around as long as we have evolved to the needs of their customers. And in our example, we continue to evolve and innovate and grow and meet the needs of our community. We are extremely proud of what we've done, but more importantly, we're excited for what the future holds. The last thing I'll share is our Boys and Girls Club is a unique business model. The majority of the services that we offer are free. We go into the community, we provide these services to school districts, to partners in the community, directly to families and to young people. And the funding model is we rely entirely on the community to support us. So whether it's private philanthropy, corporate sponsorship, special events, individual donors. And so we ask that as we continue to grow, as we continue to evolve, as we continue to challenge ourselves, as Steve mentioned, we are considered to be one of the premier Boys and Girls Clubs in the country. There's over 4,000 Boys and Girls Clubs in this country. We are considered by far to be one of the best Boys and Girls Clubs, and it's because of the support that we get from our community. I'll take a quick couple-minute break to see if there's any questions that I can answer or any additional pieces of information I can emphasize.
Just the original model and what you, I'm assuming, also continue to do. What age range does that serve? And here, geographically, where is the Boys and Girls Club?
Thank you for that. Our primary service is age 5 to age 18 is in those clubs, right? We have teen centers, we have high school programs, we have on-school campus programs. In addition to those 18-year-olds, I think we're in year 5, we started following our college-bound students into college, so we technically will serve them into their mid-20s. That model looks different because if we've done our job right, we have a map. Our kids are going to go to whatever college is the right fit for them, so we have college-bound alum that are spread out throughout the country. Their mentoring model is different, primarily connecting through Zoom, social media, email, phone calls, and really in that model, it's showing them how to leverage the infrastructure that might be at their local university, but more importantly, it's really more of a home base that they have a relationship that they can kind of go to when they need to. So that 5 to 24-year-old is the spectrum. We do support organizations that do 0 to 5. That's just not an area that we specifically have gone through, because what we've known about early childhood is that it's one of the most critical ages, that if we don't prepare our young people during that age category, they just simply don't start off in the way that they should. Your closest Boys and Girls Club is by far one of the nicest Boys and Girls Clubs in the country. So it's right off of Jamboree in the East Bluff community. And so that's our Boys and Girls Club location here in Newport Beach. And then just on the other side of the bay, the nearest club to that would be our Costa Mesa club on the east side of Costa Mesa. Our other clubs include Irvine and Santa Ana. And then the rest of that footprint are several dozen school-based partnerships in Newport Mesa, Orange Unified, Santana, and Irvine. Any other questions I can answer? We do have thank you for that. Thanks for reminding me. I always forget about the gala. So our gala is this Saturday at the Vea Hotel. For those of you that have not stayed there since they've renovated, it's absolutely incredible. And so this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. We're honoring two honorees. The first is the Pacific Life group here in Newport Beach. They made a significant investment into our organization a couple years ago with a $1.5 million gift to grow our workforce development and college-bound initiative. They also recently built a playground for us in Santa Ana. And then the other honoree is the David A. Pyle family and their incredible generosity and legacy here in our community.
Yeah, no question. I just wanted to say I think it's amazing. I got my first job through YES, the location here.
Yep.
In Costa Mesa. So I do a lot of workforce development. I go into a lot of high schools to talk a little bit more about financial practices and better habits. I think those two things coming together is amazing. So I just want to applaud.
Oh, thank you. Let's make sure that David gets your information. One of my priorities over the next 12 months is to collect as many alumni stories as I can. You're not the first person to tell me you got your first job through YES, and it makes me feel even more confident. Yeah. I also want to take a quick moment, and then I'll wrap up, Steve, to recognize Michelle, who was with the YES organization. Raise your hand, Michelle. Michelle has been the lead program person at YES for many years. She really was the one person that was leading and driving impact for the YES organization, and we're very happy that she's recently joined our staff at Boys and Girls Club and will have an expanded role to continue delivering those services. So thank you, Michelle, for being here.
You have your location in Santa Ana, and looking at your model and affirming your model is Cristo Rey just opened a school in Santa Ana where every student has a full scholarship for a Catholic education at $90 a month, cost of family, and a partnership with a company. And many of the top engineering law firms, design firms in Orange County. So is that? So I think
Yep.
that affirms your model.
Correct, and that's an incredible school. Obviously, the proof of concept from LA is a great model, and we're excited to see that replicated here in Orange County. That is an active partner of the Boys and Girls Club. We will have our college-bound program on campus. As many of you might know, this is their first year of launch, so we're actively partnering with them. They reached out to us as well as many other youth organizations as they were planning to launch their school, and so that's one of our partners. We're on campus at several public school locations as well as charter schools. I'm a school board member for the Samueli Academy, also located in Santa Ana, which is a project-based learning high school. We're on campus at the Nova Academy, downtown Santa Ana, that allows high school students to earn college credit while they're earning their high school diploma. And some of those students, I mean, these are superstar, rock star kids that we're seeing now. I've never seen this many youth entrepreneurs that are starting their own companies. I've never seen this many high school students starting their own nonprofits. And we're seeing more than ever high school students that the day that they earn their high school diploma are earning 1 or 2 associate's degree on graduation day. And so they start right out of high school are transferring in as juniors into these universities. It's incredible to see, and we're extremely proud to be a part of that. But these partnerships is our strategy. We refer to it as collective impact, right? That's the only way that we can scale and have this much impact is through partnerships. It's us identifying organizations that believe in what we believe, and we're able to leverage our resources and our talent with theirs. And the city of Newport Beach is a great example. I see Sean in the back. Our location here in Newport Beach is a collaboration between the city of Newport Beach and the Boys and Girls Club, in that the city owns the land, and it's a long-term lease that allows us to offer services. And so that public-private partnership allows us to do more together than we ever could on our own.
Do you partner with any nonprofits that helps kids in the foster care system that are aging out?
It's a great question. I don't know that there's an exact partnership that I can point to, but we do partner with organizations that focus on the youth-facing side of that. So Project Hope Alliance is one of our great examples in our community. I mentioned the Samuele Academy, which is a charter school that was founded through Orangewood. And so they actually have on-campus housing. As a school board member, one of the things that we're most proud of is that we recently completed a capital campaign for the school, and we've opened campus housing for students who are in the foster care system. But other than that, I don't know that we've developed any specific partnerships for the 18 and up category. If there's any suggestions, we're always open to that. Our clubs do look different. Our St. Anna Club, as I mentioned earlier, is addressing a different social issue, right? The majority of families that we serve are living well below the poverty line. Less than $25,000 a year in annual income for a family of four or up. And so we're addressing different types of issues than we might be addressing in some of our other areas. The core mission is still the same. Every child, every family needs a support system and a mentor. But in that club, we bring in over 55 nonprofits, and we directly schedule them in to provide services, whether it's English classes for adults, financial literacy programs for adults. Like this space here probably would have been empty if it wasn't for us scheduling this here today. Most Boys and Girls Clubs are empty when kids are in school. That building is filled up the entire day, every hour of the day, because we're bringing in other nonprofits and lending our space like this space here today. What we've done is coordinated what we refer to as our Family Strengthening Initiative. We bring in all these different nonprofits. That model may look different in some of our communities like Newport Beach, where we're providing more grief counseling, family services, et cetera, to families here in Newport Beach.
Partner with CDM, the foundation, the school, Newport Mesa. I know where you are in Newport
Yep.
Beach. My kids were at CDM and they graduated there, and I did a lot of volunteer work. But so many people misunderstand the Boys and Girls Club for being just for the underserved, but
Yep.
they're not.
Correct.
So we have such a strong foundation at CDM. They raise so much money for the school, and the PTA is so active. Do you actually partner with our CDM school?
We've explored that. We do have a school board or a member of the administration from Newport Mesa on our board of directors. The Newport Club is within walking distance of CDM. That building is our smallest building of all of our clubs. And so the concept that we've developed is to build our teen strategy on campus at CDM. We just haven't had much progress in that area, but it's something that we've prioritized and would hope to do. It's easier for us to go to the campus and build a program on campus, especially since it serves middle school students and high school age students, than for us to buy a building next door and renovate it. So that is part of our plan, and hopefully something that we can address in this upcoming school year. Currently, our only partnership with CDM is accepting CDM students for volunteer work in our Newport Beach club. And then 2 years, three, I guess, pandemic is tough because you lose years, but right before the pandemic, which feels like it was a little while ago, we worked with a nonprofit that was founded by high school students on campus at CDM called Youth Entrepreneurship Program, where high school students learn how to code, and then they teach young kids those same skills. And so post-pandemic, we've developed a strategy to relaunch that partnership. I hope that,
Kinda did,
Yep.
because I wasn't asking if you wanted to build another building or anything. I was just asking you to tell me if the CDM knows that you service them.
Yep.
The kids, there's a lot of latchkey kids, a lot of kids that parents work after school, or, they're not
Yep.
picked up by their kids or their parents, and they need a place to go to.
Yeah, I think David's sitting right behind you. Yeah, we'd love to go offline and connect with you. It's one of our priorities, and so we'd love the opportunity to connect. Yeah. Michelle?
I was just going to say on that, I did meet with Mary Russell, so I have participated with Wes at their job fairs for the last few years, and Jay Haley, who is the principal now, he was the former principal at Costa Mesa High, and we have worked with Costa Mesa High seniors as far as their senior exit project for the last several years, and he's now at CDM and wants us more at CDM, and so I've been working with Mary Russell, Robert Crystal, and probably David and I will be meeting with them.
And Newport Harbor, his, the principal
And
there.
same with Newport Harbor. So we do serve all of the Newport Mesa schools, and they have made our program this year one of the components that a senior in Newport Mesa can select to complete as far as their senior exit project. So it is getting bigger and straighter, but I can talk to you about that later.
Any other questions, or are we,
I've got one.
yep, see.
So I'm pretty friendly with all the chamber presidents in the cities that you serve. So how can the chambers of commerce help the Boys and Girls Club with their mission, workforce development, education?
Thank you for that. Community is always the focus of every chamber, right? And while there's certainly the rap that it's all about business, the reality is it's all about people, right? It takes a community to come together, whether it's the business sector, the nonprofit sector, government. And as we look at strengthening community, I think we've had a couple questions around what's happening at the Boys and Girls Club and how can we get involved. I think for us, our philosophy with Boys and Girls Club is how do we connect and build partnerships that are mutual, right? So what value can we bring to those that contribute, support, sponsor, Boys and Girls Club volunteer? And then obviously our organization is entirely driven by volunteers and community giving. So whether it's sponsorship to, golf tournament, women's brunch, our gala, or if it's volunteering, helping us, connect to young people and supporting one of our events. During the holiday season, it's a great time, right? We think about all the time that we spend with family, for those of you that maybe don't like spending time with your family. But it's also the time that we, give away Thanksgiving meals and turkeys into the community, and we get toys for kids that otherwise wouldn't have a toy during the holiday season. Every month we celebrate a birthday. For every kid that celebrates a birthday, we celebrate it at the Boys and Girls Club. And believe it or not, I've had adults come to me and tell me that the only place that celebrated their birthday during their childhood was the Boys and Girls Club. And so I guess to lay it on as thick as I can, our Boys and Girls Club is driven by the community. I'm the leader of this organization. I help drive vision and strategy and build the culture, but the entire organization is driven by the community. It takes all of us to say kids are important. Let's invest in kids. Let's invest in this next generation of young people. And as a parent, I want for our kids the same support system that my kids have at home. And I want to make sure that if a young person is sick, we get them access to health care. If they're not doing well in school, we get them the additional tutoring. If they're suffering from some household issue, it's our responsibility and obligation to help them address that issue. So back to the chamber, what makes chambers so successful is that you build relationships to each other, and we're a part of this community with you. We're always open, and David Blair, who's here with me today, is incredible at building partnerships with our community members, our sponsors, our corporate partners, so that we're bringing value to the table as well. I do think, and I'll end on this, there's just a huge difference between a charity mindset and what we refer to as a social entrepreneurship mindset. We are social entrepreneurs. We are here to change the trajectory of young people's lives. We are here to break the cycle of poverty. We're here to make sure that no kid suffers from abuse. We're here to make sure that every young person feels confident and has a support system and someone that cares for them, and no matter what zip code they come from. And while charity is great, we have a very different mindset, which is why we are always growing and innovating and challenging ourselves, because that's what our young people deserve. They deserve the very, very best of us. Thank you so much for having me here today and for welcoming me.
Well, that was a great talk, and they're doing obviously great work in our communities in Newport and Costa Mesa, Irvine, and Santana. So thank you for that. And again, thank you for jumping in here at the last minute and being our guest speaker this morning. I'll just quickly end. We're super busy. We got loads of stuff for you guys to do if you want to get engaged with the chamber. I think our next event is our women's group, Inspire Women in Business. It's on the 10th, right, Annette? September 10th, we're going to be at One Hope Winery. It's not going to be a luncheon this time. It's actually going to be an evening event. They're going to have a little social gathering there, and I'm sure there'll be some sampling of their wine. And then we're going to sit down and have a little talk from their CEO, who has quite an interesting story on how she founded the company and how it's grown so much. Also, if you don't get enough on that, on the 10th, on the 11th is our signature event, our economic forecast. We're going to be at the Balboa Bay Resort. Carol, you still here, Carol? Carol with the Balboa Bay Resort. She's going to be there, I know, but as well as 400 of her closest friends, I think, are coming too. So it's going to be a big event. We're almost ready to shut down registration, so if you do want to come, please sign up for that. Our networking luncheon is on what date? The 17th or something? 18th, sorry. It's Wednesday the 18th. That's going to be at Gracias Madre restaurant. It's interesting there because they serve vegetarian fare, but you wouldn't know that it was vegetarian. I, had stuff there that I definitely would go back and have again. So good way to dip your toe in the vegetarian water if you've never done that before, and meet a lot of great people at our networking event. And then our mixer this month, we're going to be back on the harbor, on the water, in one of the City Cruises yachts. It's going to be a joint mixer with Costa Mesa and Laguna Beach. We're probably going to have about 250 to 300 people on the boat, so definitely one that you'd want to attend, where you can not only meet other Newport Beach chamber members, but ones from Costa Mesa and Laguna. We're also having vendor tables there, so if you have something you want to sell or advertise, I think they're like $195 or $250, something like that, depending on where you are. But and you get 2 tickets to be on the boat, so you and a friend can come, and so that should be a lot of fun as well. And then next month is November. I don't have a speaker yet for Wake Up Newport, which is unusual, but we will have a good one, I guarantee it. So thank you all for coming. Grab some donuts and coffee and fruit and bagels on the way out, because we don't want to take it back to the office. I barely got in my pants this morning. You're pointing at something. Well, the Witty Lecture Series. Is that Witty? I can't see it behind the bush. Yeah, they have a great, we do use this room for other things other than Wake Up Newport, but it is empty a lot. You're right, Robert. But yeah, you definitely want to check out the Witty Lecture Series. Also, I did neglect to mention when I said Fentanyl Solutions Leadership Circle member, the Boys and Girls Club is also one of our Leadership Circle members, and we thank you for that and the support. And Charles Antis, sitting in the front row, is going to be our newest member this week. So thank you, Charles. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.